What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about the recent Capcom. Basically, this is the worst kind of leaks, okay? Because we'll talk about Village, okay? I'm excited for what we're going to talk about Village. It's good news overall, but the way that this news was presented to us is not okay. And I think that's probably very important to say very early on. You know, I cover a lot of leaks in games, leaks in movies, stuff like that, and I'm happy to. I like doing it. Do I get spoiled a lot on things? Yeah, I do. I see a lot of things that I don't always want to see. But you know, I would argue that it's normally done not hurting anybody all that much, okay? At least as little as possible. Something like this is a little bit different. So if you guys don't know what happened, basically Capcom got hit and they got basically hacked, where a lot of employees, I believe like 35,000 employees, very sensitive information, including like names, including other things. I don't really want to go all that far because I want to kind of put acknowledgement on that, but there were some not great things happening. We did get interesting tidbits of info. You know, we always talk about how much money does it take for these companies to win over exclusive deals? Well, having the VR part of Biohazard, having Resident Evil 7 be in VR for PlayStation VR, cost Sony $5 million. And Google Stadia, it cost them $10 million to bring Resident Evil over to their console. So those are interesting. Those are things that I would like for them to say out loud, just kind of because I'm a money guy. I like to see figures, I like to see numbers. But so that was cool. Again, that's not something that I think they wanted out there. Probably Sony doesn't want it out there. I would assume Google in general doesn't want it out there, right? So you have those things. Again, you have very sensitive info of employees, but the biggest thing, the thing that applies directly to this video, you know, the thing that I talk about quite often on this channel is, of course, Resident Evil Village. So the release date they have planned for April 2021. There you go. There you go. That's, I would say, the biggest amount of information. I think there was another leak of a different game as well, so there's more than just that. There's also things on there as well that they plan on having a demo for this game before it comes out. That makes sense. There was a demo for 3 for sure, for the 3's remake. Was there also one for 2's? I feel like there was as well. So they've been doing this recently with having demos of the game before the game actually comes out, which I think is fine. We've gotten away from that in the gaming industry quite a bit. Remember, years and years and years ago, demos were pretty common, I would say, and they've gotten a whole lot less common nowadays. Many games don't have demos. Some games have demos after the game is out. I think to have a demo, being able to play just a little bit of the game before the game is actually out, is probably pretty, I would say, a really good thing. I think if the game is good, it can help you hype it up a little bit, right? But this makes sense. So April 2021. Now, it's not confirmed. This was a few weeks ago that they got this information, or that they showed it. So, actually, they just showed it today, but they have this information for a while. So, anything can happen. They could, push it back. That's for sure. But this does line up. Remember, we just talked about this. Actually, I think today, depending on what day or even depending what channel this video is on, I did talk about if Resident Evil is going to be at the Game Awards, and I talked about how, if Silent Hill is there, that makes it very difficult for Resident Evil to be there. I don't think 2 AAA horror games would show up at the exact same event that are basically competing against each other. I just don't think that'll happen. Another thing to keep in mind, too, is we know that there's a winter update, that they're going to give us a winter update to Resident Evil Village, which ideally would come with a release date. And again, in that video I talked about on Podcast Now Plus, which, by the way, if you guys aren't subscribed there, please do. I do these kind of news videos. I did say, they've been trying to get these games out as early as they can in each year. I did discuss, maybe it gets delayed to the fall, in which case kind of all of them would get delayed. But remember, they really try to get they want to get a game out every year. We had Resident Evil 2 remake, 3 remake this game. Then we'll have Resident Evil 4's remake next year, or 2022. So they're on a year-to-year basis. They try to get it out within the first little bit. They've nailed it. I would say January through even, let's say, April. They've had all of the, the past, even going back to Resident Evil 7, that game came out in January. So they've done a really good job with that. I'm excited. We don't, if you go and look at the release schedule for 2021, it's not very good. Okay, now there are a lot of games that don't have dates but have the year 2021, and those aren't technically included. So when you add those, obviously you make it a lot better. But as of right now, the games that are kind of confirmed to be coming out in these months ahead, January, February, March, they're not good. There's not a, I mean, they're good games. I think. I hope so, right? But there's just not a lot of them, right? So I'm hoping that this game can come out in April. I think it honestly will. I think if it gets delayed, worst case scenario is like May or June. I really don't think, like I said in that video, I don't see it slipping to the fall, because if it did, then you would assume, well, Resident Evil 4's remake probably wouldn't come out in the spring of 2022. It'd probably also have to come out in the fall of 2022. So now you're on a year cycle, but now you're in the fall instead of the winter or spring, which is what you've been doing for the past, like, 4 entries of the games, right? So I don't think that's going to be the case. But, again, I do want to echo this. I love leaks. I love knowing that this game is potentially going to come out April 2021. I think, they do good with you guys, the viewers. You guys like me talking about these leaks. Again, though, this is not how you do it. I don't think the people that hacked them basically are listening to this video, but this is definitely not how you obtain this information. I'm sure somebody out there, right, would have the aesthetic gamer or whatever, the Dust Golem, right? He does a lot of Silent Hill and Resident Evil stuff. He could have probably done this. You didn't need to find out employees, employee names, employee locations, employee phone numbers, all that stuff. You didn't need to look up. I think they have like their business, like, money operations too, and I think they're having it for like ransom, where like Capcom, they're like demanding Capcom pays them to get it back. And so far, at least when I'm recording this video, Capcom hasn't done it. So this is actually big news. This is not something that happens like every day. Leaks happen every day, but not leaks obtained this way. Don't ever do this. Don't ever, I guess, I would say acknowledge, but that would be hypocritical because I just did. But I'm acknowledging it in a very negative way, right? So let me know in the comments below, guys. What do you think? Do you like the release date? Do you think that's what it's going to be? You think it maybe would get delayed? Let me know. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed here on this YouTube channel. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up. And like I said, I have a second channel, Podcast Now Plus is its name. I have a Twitter, Podcast Now 15, which you probably saw earlier on in the video, the kind of graphic. And I have a Discord server. So if you guys want to support me by joining or following or subscribing to any of those, links for all 3 are in the description below, okay? Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope to see you all on the next video.